It is December 12, the third day of the consideration of the 2019 budget estimates in the Committee of Supply. Here is what's making the news. President David Granger has returned home after having completed the second round of medical treatment and evaluation at the Center for Surgical Medical Research in Havana. On Monday, the Cuban team of specialists restated their complete satisfaction with the president's response to medical treatment and explained that they will continue to monitor his progress in the coming weeks. President Granger also received a courtesy call from Cuba's Foreign Affairs Minister Bruno Rodriguez Perea. The head of state again expressed his gratitude to the Cuban government and a team of specialists for the treatment that he is being afforded in Havana. The Ministry of Public Infrastructure's 2019 budget reallocation was today given the green light, and with this, residents of Kokwani will soon benefit from 24 hours of power supply. Here's that report.
The $38.5 billion allocated to the Ministry of Public Infrastructure was approved by the Committee of Supply on Tuesday evening for its current and capital expenditure during 2019. Minister of Public Infrastructure David Patterson noted that a portion of the funds will provide for the purchase of fuel to supply 24 hours of electricity to Kokwani.
It is for not only fuel, sir, it is also, there are also other costs. This KUI, Kokwani Utilities Inc. are in charge of not only electricity, water, sanitation, several other, all utilities in Kokwani. So this money here caters for that for 24 hours in 2019.
Kokwani Utility Incorporated is managed by the Ministry of Public Infrastructure's Hinterland Electrification Company Incorporated, which ensures hinterland communities have an adequate power supply. Minister within the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Annette Ferguson, said other works are in the pipeline to improve the provision of electricity in the hinterland.
Installation of a 400 kilowatt solar PV farm at Mabaruma, that's in region number 1. Installation of a metal lattice tower to support electricity distribution lines across the Port Kaituma River, $20 million Ghana. Extension of the distribution network at Mokamoka and residents within the proximity of Rodo Ground in region number 9. An upgrade distribution for the two will cost $20 million Ghana.
HECI was allocated the sum of $233.5 million to ensure continuity and support of its socio-economic and development plan. Renetta LaFleur for InfoHub.
Minister of Education Dr. Nicolette Henry today defended the allocation to the school feeding program, highlighting its expansion across the country. Details from Alexis Rodney.
Minister Henry was responding to queries by Opposition Member of Parliament Priya Manichan on day 3 of the consideration of the budget estimates.
We would have said to the nation that we intend to expand the school feeding program, and we did just that. And we will continue to expand the program further until we address those that are most vulnerable and disadvantaged. We will go to every vulnerable child and in every vulnerable community in this country.
This reach extends even more to communities where parents have been retrenched following the closure of the sugar estates.
I wish to state that sugar workers' children were given special consideration as they fall into the category of children that will also require this support.
The ministry's school feeding program is aimed at building more community participation in schools and improving children's human development outcomes, such as student enrollment and attendance, nutritional status, and learning outcomes. Consequently, the program has tackled unemployment and underemployment. Reporting for InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
Minister of Communities Ronald Bulkan says increased stipend for regional executive officers and neighborhood democratic councillors have been catered for in the 2019 budget. Paul McAdam tells us more.
The increased monthly stipend amounts were announced to the National Assembly on December 12 during the consideration of the 2019 budget estimates by Minister of Communities Ronald Bulkan.
But the new stipends, or the increased stipends rather, for the regional chairs, it's fairly modest. It's moving from $284 monthly to $300. For the RVCs, from $213 to $240. For the mayors, they're in two categories. The 4 hinterland mayors will receive a stipend, monthly stipend of $110,000, and the deputy mayors, $85,000. For the 6 coastal, the mayors for the coastal regions, they will enjoy now, sir, for the first time, stipends of $75,000 and $60,000 for the mayors and deputy mayors, respectively. Similarly, for the town clerks, the hinterland town clerks will enjoy a monthly stipend of $78,000, and for the remainders, the sum of $55,000. It includes as well all of the overseers, sum of $40,000 monthly.
The minister explained to the House that the increased amounts resulted from recommendations made during the National Conference of Local Democratic Organs earlier this year.
Where the recommendation was made for capacity building and institutional strengthening and an upgrade in the emoluments of the local government leaders.
The increases are among promises kept by the government to revise stipends viewed as dismally low by regional officials. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
Still to come, Prime Minister commends police force for lower crime rates. This and much more when we return.
Dogs again, and no mailbox.
Don't let this happen to you.
I'm so happy that I get this mailbox. Now I get my mails. You know how much times GPL come and disconnect me life because I can't get my bill? I will notice. Anyways, girl, the post office encouraging all residents to install a mailbox so they can improve their service to us.
Get your mailbox today and help the Guyana Post Office to serve you better.
Welcome back. Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu today commended the Guyana Police Force for the decrease in the crime rate from the obscene levels once experienced under the former administration.
You have reduced crimes from 1,403 or thereabout in 2014 to a 3-digit number. 965 was the last figure I've seen. And you did a good job because as policemen, your job is always to avoid the 4 letters and the 4 numbers. 4 letters always is a bad word, right? And you brought it down from 4 to 3.
Prime Minister Nagamutu also commended the force for having increased its number of prosecutions compared to the immediate past.
I give kudos to the leadership and the police force for having worked diligently to produce this result. And I can tell you also that in these last months, or in fact over the last 2 years, you have had more prosecution than any time before.
The Prime Minister noted that despite the increased number of prosecutions by the Guyana Police Force under the current government, there has not been any credible accusation of prosecutable torture leveled at the force. In 2009, Minister of Public Security Kemaraj Ramjatan, then a lawyer, took the Guyana Police Force to court for the lighting a fire of the genitals of a 15-year-old boy in police custody. The Prime Minister spoke earlier at the police force's annual Christmas breakfast earlier today. For InfoHub, Delicia Haynes.
Renetta now reports that Commissioner of Police Leslie James says the hierarchy of the Guyana Police Force is committed to good governance.
Speaking at the annual police officers' Christmas breakfast at Eve Leary this morning, the newly appointed commissioner sought to reassure the nation of the force's commitment to higher standards.
We have embarked on a reformation plan, compliments of the government of Guyana. We have had consultations, and those recommendations have been submitted and are currently being implemented. We have embarked on 3 main pillars, that is to say training, infrastructure, and human resource management. You would have seen some shifts, some movement of persons in the force. That is in keeping with our posture that we need to have continuity and proper governance in the force.
Additionally, Commissioner James says there has been a continued reduction in crimes and the situation is not one of gloom and doom as is being touted by certain sections of the society.
The year commenced with some issues, but through the effort, that collective effort that we always do, we've been able to pull through to this point. I'm happy to report that in terms of our serious crimes, we are down by 11%. In terms of road fatalities, we've seen an increase by 10.1%. 2017, we've had 89 cases, 89 fatal accidents, and this year, to date, we've had 98. We've seen, however, a marked decrease in our serious crimes. Last year, we've had 289, and this year to date, we've had 228.
Present at the simple occasion were Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu and Minister of Public Security Kemraj Ramjatan. The Prime Minister, in brief remarks, congratulated the hierarchy of the police force and encouraged them to remain resolute in their crime fight. Renetta Lafleur for InfoHub.
Visitors from Europe can now enjoy an easier and more comfortable connection to Ghana following the recent signing of a cooperation agreement between the German airline Condor, Thomas Cook Group, and Liat Airlines. Traveling to Ghana from Germany, Austria, and Switzerland will now be much faster and more comfortable. The interline agreement allows passengers to use coordinated flight connections and checked through luggage and enjoy cheaper tickets year-round. The proposed connections will run through Antigua, making it a smoother connection to Georgetown, Ghana, without passengers losing much travel time awaiting connecting flights. Passengers flying into the Caribbean can continue their journey to Ghana the same day. They will no longer be required to overnight in a connecting country, and this will also drastically reduce their cost of travel. 8 influential tourism ambassadors were honored by the Ghana Tourism Authority for their contributions to enhancing travel experiences and services. Neola Damond has our last report for this evening.
During the Guyana Tourism Authority 11 Awards ceremony held at Pegasus Hotel last evening, GTA Director Brian Mullis thanked those who have helped the agency in its mission to propel the development of the travel and tourism sector within the country.
We're really excited to celebrate all those folks that are going above and beyond to make the Guyanese travel and tourism sector special, and not just special in our part of the world, but special globally.
Mullis said that it is crucial to avoid mistakes other travel destinations have made and to promote a sustainable approach to tourism development, including best practices. This includes the establishment of the Living Destination Development Plan, which complements the Green State Development Strategy.
A new plan that we're developing, which is a Living Destination Development Plan, which essentially is the blueprint for where we should invest, where we should create new attractions, put new lodging and things of that nature based on market demand. So moving away from a supply-driven approach to tourism development to a market-driven approach to tourism development to markedly increase the success of any new travel and tourism ventures.
Mitra Ram Kumar, president of the Tourism and Hospitality Association of Guyana, reiterated the need to adopt best sustainable practices at a country level in the development of tourism. Those awarded were Old Fort Tours and Resort for Tour Guide of the Year, Rewa Eco Lodge for Most Outstanding Community-Led and Owned Tourism Enterprise, Canadian Executive Service Organization for Most Outstanding Contribution to Tourism by NGO or Volunteer Group, King's Hotel for Service in Tourism Accommodation Establishment, Backyard Cafe for Service Quality in Tourism, Hits and Jams for Tourism Entrepreneurs, White King Ranch for Tourism Recognition, and Surama Eco Lodge for People's Choice Award for Sustainable Tourism. Neola Damond, InfoHub.
And for your green tip of the day, if you choose to purchase retail gifts, try to select products that come in minimal packaging or those which are made from sustainable materials and can be easily recycled. You could also choose gifts that help people live more sustainably, like a compost bin or a reusable water bottle. Here's a reminder to check your TV schedules for more budget and focus programs where various ministers discuss measures and sector allocations of the 2019 budget. That's all for this evening. Connect with us on WhatsApp, like and subscribe to our Facebook page for notifications. You can also follow us on Instagram for updates and visit our website at dpi.gov.gy. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye.